What's up, guys? Welcome to Ground Reality. I'm Rohan Manglani with Karan Singh and Siddharth Punjabi. Now, boys, what's up? We are
Hey, how's it
Hey
going, guys?
Rohan, how's it
very
going?
well,
Karan,
very well.
all good?
So, we are
Rohan,
talking about the Europa League and the two games which have happened last night. Now, I would actually like to avoid this conversation, but Karan, what's up, man? United 6-2. That's a I mean, I have to say this at halftime, Ole out was trending, even though you guys have achieved the result you wanted.
Yeah, what a great performance, man. I mean, can we play Roma every week? It feels like whenever we play Roma, it just brings the best out of all the players and the club. Um, Even honestly, even while watching it, I was also frustrated at halftime, especially because of the manner of of the goals conceded. It's so typical of United this season or the last couple of seasons. You have these defensive frailties, and even when he's playing literally two defensive midfielders and a back four every game, because he usually plays Fred and McTominay, you just can't feel secure. Like every time the opposition attack, it feels like something dangerous is going to happen. But so that's definitely something that the club still needs to address. But what a response in the second half. I mean, I don't think that any team has made so many comebacks in a season as United have, this season. So obviously you can never write them off. There's so much attacking talent in the team, and it doesn't always come together. But when it does, like last night, it's magical.
so one second, I have a question. Were United that good or were Roma that bad? That United probably won their highest game. I
Yeah,
think it was the highest score in Europe for the last couple of years, right?
yeah. No, Roma were
Yeah.
pretty average, to be honest, and I think more than that, they got affected by the injuries. They had to make three
Ah.
substitutions in the first half, and they lost a couple of key players. I think they had to change their keeper as well, and
Oh wow. Okay.
their backup keeper definitely looked very rusty to me, because I feel like he should have saved a couple of the goals. Like the Greenwood one, for example, probably could have been saved. So I think that in addition to just not being the force that they once were, the injuries and the changes obviously disrupted their team. But you can, as they say, you can only beat what's in front of you. And I think that the sort of front four of United, so Cavani, Rashford, Pogba, and Bruno, really turned it on last night. They're all quality players. Obviously, some of them may be in form, some of them may be out of form, but when they click together, it's quite a force to reckon with.
Yeah, you
So
say
pretty much
force.
one title in the bag for United.
I was
Looks
just
like it.
asking the same question.
Because
No, you can't look. I mean, people have been saying that, but you can't say. You just, in a final, anything can happen, right? People were saying the same thing last year, and then we lost to Sevilla in the semis
Well, it
because it
depends
was
who you
one
play.
off.
It depends who you play in the finals. If it's Arsenal, it might be a different story. And if it's
I think it's
Villarreal, I think it'll be a different
No, it's
story.
gonna be end of the day. It's a final. It's gonna be a tough ask either way. Like even earlier this season, Arsenal won the game at Old Trafford. They were in horrible form at that time, but they came, showed up. They played tight. They played defensive. They got a lucky penalty, and they won the game. So that's the thing about finals, is that absolutely anything can happen on the day. There are no guarantees. Two-legged ties are obviously different, because even if like PSG got pretty unlucky. City scored a couple
Yeah.
of, fluky goals against them, even though they played well, obviously. But PSG still have another 90 minutes to at least try and mount a comeback. But in a final, if some lucky break goes against you, or like the Pogba handball last night, which is completely unintentional but still a penalty, anything can happen. So you can't say that is in the bag. But I'm just really glad that assuming that we'll get through, that at least we'll be
Yeah, I
playing
was
a
just gonna
final.
ask you, is there any chance, any hope for Roma, or it's pretty much done and
No,
dusted
I
after
mean
last
we
night?
should be through. We should be through. Four goals
there's
is
no
a
doubt about
pretty massive lead. But yeah, I mean,
It's happened though in the
I'm
past, though,
happy.
right? When Milan, Deportivo, and a couple of other 4-0s. I mean, it's not going to happen this time by the looks of it, but you never
Yeah,
know. Football has been funny
yeah.
in
Well,
the
Liverpool did
past
it against Barcelona, obviously,
decades.
famously. But
This is
yeah,
the
I
Man
don't.
United with Harry Maguire. So let's not forget that. But apart from that, Karan, I think you're being way too modest. I don't think that you're going forward and saying that yes, this cup is ours now to win or to lose rather. I mean, it is. I mean, you can't deny whether it is Arsenal or whether it is Villarreal in the final. You guys are favorites. There's no doubt about that.
Maybe slight favorites, but
Don't
how
say
does that
slight
matter? Like,
favorites. I mean, you guys are
no,
strong favorites.
we were favorites against Leicester as well in the FA Cup, and we lost that tie. That's the thing about
That's the
finals. I
fun
mean,
for all
if
the other fans. But you are
no,
favorites.
like, are you saying that whoever wins the tie out of PSG and Man City is the definite winner of the Champions League? Because that's the
No,
same thing. Because both of them are way stronger than Chelsea or Real Madrid. There's no doubt about it.
But
The three
the
best
one
teams
who goes through probably would be the favorites, right? Whether it's
will be
City
the slight
or
favorites, but
PSG.
it's the final, right? Like, it's according
Yeah,
to me, it's the same
that's true
thing.
though.
It's the same thing. The three best
That's
teams in
true.
Europe are Bayern, PSG, and Man City, and they were all on the same side of the draw. So,
Yeah.
somebody, either Chelsea or Madrid, is going to get to the final without playing a really good team.
no, that is true, and a final is a final. But I still think that United are clear out and out favorites. And this time, it's also because you see the number of points you've got in the league, you see the number of goals you've scored, you see the number of clean sheets. I mean, there's this whole comparison going on between Robertson and Luke Shaw, which we'll address in the segment when we talk about Liverpool and United, the game that time. But yeah, well done on the Europa League, man. And I think I'm already going to say it, but congratulations on being winners of the Europa 21.
Too early, man. This is exactly what you do. I know what you're trying to do, Rohan. You're trying to jinx us. But what about Arsenal? I mean, are you guys even going to be in the final? What happened last night?
I don't know. For a change, I was very happy talking about United. I just didn't want to get there. But yeah, I mean, Arsenal has its problems. I think one of the biggest problems about Arsenal is that you don't know which Arsenal is going to show up on what day. Basically, I mean, it's the story of the season has been inconsistency, right? Throughout. I mean, yesterday was a bit of stupidity, inconsistency, and I think from Mikel Arteta a little bit of arrogance, because how can you go out and play a semi-final against Villarreal, which is a good squad, which has a decent manager, and you're playing a false nine? I mean, what do you think?
Sorry,
Man City,
who's the manager of Villarreal? The decent manager? Can you remind
Unai
me?
Emery. Did you want me to
Oh,
say it? No,
He's
but
rubbing the
serial
boots. Yeah. But
serial
just a
Europa winner.
question, Rohan and Karan. I honestly, I mean, I didn't watch the game last night, but I don't think you guys got an away goal. So what are you even crying about Arsenal?
No, but
because
it's not.
all you got to do is just beat Villarreal on next Thursday. There's nothing else left. You have to win a game in a tie, right, to go through. So you just have to beat them, whether it's 1-0. 2-1, okay, 2-0, 1-0, or even a 2-1, you're still good. Unless you beat them 3-2 or 4-3 or something, which that's not going to happen with Arsenal Villarreal. But you never know. But so there's nothing. I mean, I don't see anything. It's not like Villarreal are an easy team. They're still a good team. They're still a tough team to beat.
No, I mean,
but
of
you're
course
still taking an away goal. You're not.
you
Not
watch
like,
you
it's
watch
not
the
like you're lost
entire
3-0.
you watch the entire 90 minutes and you'll understand the perspective from which I'm saying yes, it makes it feel better at the end of the game that you are going home with an away goal, which means that technically you score one goal and you keep a clean sheet, you can win the game. But there's 2-3 things to that. Number one, the play was absolutely rubbish, because like I was saying, that you can't play a false nine with Saka, Pepe, and Odegaard in the front, because first of all, even though your thought may be to do something, you have to understand those guys are hardly 20, 22 years old of age, or less, most of them. There's no experience, and you are playing against a very experienced Villarreal defense. So that was absolutely horrible. We didn't have the ball for majority periods of the entire game. We the penalty decision was a lucky decision. It was good play by Saka, and it was some remorse coming out of the game. Now, going into next Thursday, can Arsenal win the game? Yes, Arsenal can win the game. Do I think Arsenal will win the game? I don't think Arsenal will win the game. And then you have the next part to it, that if Arsenal wins the semi-final also and goes into the final, will they beat United? They'll never beat United in this current situation and this current state. So I rather take the loss on the coming
I
Thursday
never
at
say
home.
never. I would never say never on the final. Like Karan said, it could be anybody's day. But having said that, I'm hoping for an all-English final, man. That's the only way I'm going to stay awake and watch the
Well, I
Europa
would want
League
to avoid an
in a
All-England
couple of
final at
weeks.
this point of time because I don't think that Arsenal will come out on
Well,
top.
we're getting into most likely an all English European League final for even the Champions League, and hopefully keeping fingers crossed the Europa League, because trust me, with the times that are going on, I'd rather watch English clubs battle it out and
Not at all,
get
man.
some silverware.
I hate Chelsea. I hate Man City. I hate Arsenal.
No, I'm saying
So
for a
I
neutral
want them all to
perspective,
lose.
I'd rather have
I
an
know.
English team
Okay, so
watching.
you hate Chelsea, you hate Man City, you hate Arsenal, Karan. But the big game, and we are talking about that now, the big game, United versus Liverpool on Sunday. Now, what do you boys make of that? Yeah, and
So
before we get
I'll
into
tell
the
you what,
game,
I'm not.
before we get into the
Yeah.
game, 1 second, before we get into the game, there's this whole topic which is going on. Some, which other people have started. Some have tried to, start on certain groups between. What is the deal between Luke Shaw and Robertson? Like, is that comparison even valid? I mean, yes, you can talk about this season, but I'll want to hear from you guys.
No, Luke Shaw is the best left back in the league, hands down, this season. There's no
This
doubt
Season,
about it.
yeah.
I have criticized Shaw a lot in the last couple of years. I was calling for United to sign a left back in the summer. I was really happy when we finally signed Alex Telles from Porto. But you have to respect the way that the guy has lifted his game. He's bounced back. He's had a lot of serious injuries in his career, which have set him back. He's had run-ins with his manager when Mourinho was at the club. So he has definitely shown a lot of mental fortitude to come back from that, and he's having the season of his life. And I actually think that Robertson is one of the Liverpool players who's still been playing well, like compared to Trent on the other flank, for example.
He's been very
Trent has had a
inconsistent
very,
this
very
season,
inconsistent season, but Robertson has been pretty strong as well. But Shaw is really, really playing out of his skin right now.
But is he better than Robert?
So-
That's the question.
This season for sure, but overall, I don't think so. Not as yet. It's too soon.
I mean,
I'm
is
assuming
that
both of
is
them
that
are
is
under
that even
25,
a
right?
is that even a valid comparison between Shaw and Robertson from a
You
Liverpool
can't take
fan?
one season. You can't take one season into account, but you wait for maybe a couple of more seasons, you'll come to know. But if you look at Fantasy Premier League, then I'm definitely assuming that Robertson has more points than Shaw besides this season.
I mean, he almost has the same number of assists as Shaw this season, and he's played with
Yeah.
a much, much weaker defense. And I mean, honestly, Karan, we can probably disagree on this, and we've had this conversation, but I just think that Robertson was born better than Luke Shaw, and he'll always be better than Luke Shaw. I mean, I don't think you can compare it this season and say that yes, Luke Shaw's had a better this season. I agree with that. Also, he's had a very stable defense with him, whereas Robertson has had various number of people changing in the
17,
back.
17 central defenders, right?
There you
17 pairings.
Partnerships, yeah.
Yeah.
No, look. Firstly, this whole born better, I completely disagree with you. Even someone like Robertson is where he is because of hard work. I mean, if he was born better, he would have been playing for a Liverpool or a Real Madrid from the start of his career. He was playing in Scotland, then he moved to Hull City. He got relegated with Hull, then he got picked up on the cheap by Liverpool. For the first half a season, he didn't even play. Then he obviously impressed his manager on the training ground, and he got his chance and he grabbed it. So I don't think there's any substitute for the kind of hard work that these sort of professionals put in. And so yeah, I disagree. I mean, they're both talented footballers, and fortunately for us, Shaw is finally showing his talent now.
But
So
can he
let's
do it
just-
season
let's just
over
say-
season?
Let's just say that if Robertson was born in England, I think he would be the left back for England for sure, over Shaw right now, over a period of time.
Well, I don't even know
look,
that if Shaw will
England
make
have good left backs. There's also Chilwell. Even Scotland, for that matter, have two world-class left backs, right? Robertson and Tierney.
Yeah.
So they're kind of blessed in that position as well. Yeah.
No, that's
But
true.
yeah, Sid,
Anyway,
what do you
but
think
for
about the game this weekend? Sid?
Yeah, so I was just going to get to that. Now I'm not so sure whether we want to play you between two Europa games, and does that help us or is that bad for us? Because you all are pretty much. I mean, I thought Roma would give you a better fight. You all would probably make like a narrow win, and then you got to rest a few players to again play on Thursday. But clearly, it's worked out completely the other way. You all have beaten them. You all can rest a few players, next week for the second leg. So you all are going to put out your strongest team against us. But having said that, I don't think you're not playing for anything below third position, right? Second position pretty much is done with United clinching it. But of course, we're rivals, and we're not. You're not going to sit low on your laurels, so that's not going to happen. But having said, I mean, having beaten Roma so badly, I don't know if it's a good thing to play all now, or is it a bad thing to play all, given that we're playing all at Old Trafford. So the only thing which probably goes in our favor are that we've been pretty decent away from home rather than at Anfield, which I spoke about the last time as well. So hopefully that goes for us. And United have not been the best at home this season, right? They've been better away than at home. Same as Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about motivation.
Yeah,
The chance for
there's
United
no, yeah.
to deny Liverpool playing in the Champions League is motivation enough. So I don't see that being a problem at all. But but obviously it's a derby. It's always going to be a tight game. For the last few years, I don't think we've seen too many goals in this game because the teams tend to play very tight, and they don't want to be exposed. They don't want to be too open. So I'm expecting a similar sort of nervy affair. Probably I think a 1-1 is going to be the most likely result according to me.
Yeah, which that definitely rules out top four for us then. If we go in
Which
for a
yeah, which
draw,
would be
if we come out
the
with a
icing on the
draw,
cake.
which actually is not a bad result on hindsight, but I mean, given the situation which we are in, it's like 5 cup finals, which honestly,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
banter
must win for
aside,
you guys.
yeah, it's a must win, and we only play United, who probably are the toughest team, but our problem has never been with the tougher teams. Our problem has been with the so-called bottom 10 teams this season at least. So
Yeah.
we don't know. I mean, it's going to be an exciting game, no doubt, but it's a final. Next 5 games are finals. Man United are probably sealed second spot. I don't see. I mean, I don't know if Leicester can probably catch up to them at second spot, and I don't see United catching up to City in the first spot. So that's pretty much done and dusted. So yeah, it would be interesting to see the motivation, given it's a derby, of course, but also to see what
Yeah.
United, what they can do, because like I said, you've got a Europa game, but that's still, that's also pretty much done and dusted. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but
let's
Sidhu,
hope there's
you keep
motivation, because
saying, let's see what United can do, but please talk about Liverpool. I mean, this the whole
yeah, well, I mean, I
the
said five
onus is
cup
on
finals,
you.
right? 5 cup finals, we win 5 out of 5, which is nearly unlikely. We need other things to go in our favor, which that also looks unlikely, because for that to happen, should have happened last week, where I expected Liverpool to beat Newcastle, and I expected a West Ham versus Chelsea draw, and both nearly happened. Well, we got robbed in the last. I mean, not robbed. We didn't deserve to win the game, because you leave it for we got a chance. We got a lifeline with the first VAR, but when you get the second, you get that lifeline and you don't take it, where you would call it luck or whatever you want to call it, and you let in a goal right 1 minute after that. I mean, that was it. That was my whole season was bummed right there. And on top of that, the next game was West Ham Chelsea, where I was hoping, okay, a draw. Maybe the fourth spot is still open, and we'll be like maybe 2 or 3 points behind West Ham or Chelsea. But unfortunately, now it's 4 points behind Chelsea, who are fourth, and they also pretty much. I mean, not so easy run, but yeah, they've got 2 tough fixtures out of the next 5 games. But the only thing is that Chelsea could get distracted with Champions League, and hopefully, something works out. But I don't see that happening right
Yeah, I
now.
think
So yeah, pretty
more than
much.
any of the teams we support, I think it's more about Chelsea will be pretty much in a dilemma at the moment to go for which competition. Basically, which competition should they keep their best team for? Obviously, the Premier League is as important, and Leicester, I feel this time are showing no signs of dropping like how they did,
Yeah.
last
I think they've
season.
learned their lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've learned their
and
lesson. And
yeah.
honestly, with Chelsea, Tuchel has such a quality and a big squad that they don't have a best team. Like, if you see the lineups over the last, actually since he joined, you'll see a minimum of 3 or 4 changes each game
Yeah.
without actually dropping the quality of the playing 11. So I think that of all the teams competing right now, they're probably the freshest because they've been able to rotate the most in the wing backs, the front three, even the center backs. They keep rotating. Even the keeper, for that matter, they rotate. So I don't see fatigue being a problem for Chelsea at all. But Sidhu, let me ask you this: that I mean, even with all the defensive problems, the injuries, surely not making top four for Liverpool after winning the league last year has to go down as a failure, right? It has to go
It's
down as a
a
failed season.
disappointment. It's a big disappointment, no doubt. The only thing I can say is that if we thought that we could get through the whole season without strengthening our defense as much as what we could have in January, we did our best by signing Kabak, but
He wanted
I
to
think
sign
it
Mustafi.
was-
He wanted to sign Mustafi in
No,
Jan.
I said keep it. Okay, since you're talking about
Phil
that,
Jones.
what would you rather do? Would you sign a player from Preston in the first division in the championship, of a Davies who they spend like I think 2 million or something, or would you rather sign a Mustafi on a free transfer and
I
keep him
agree.
on the
I
bench
didn't get
because
that.
Davies is not.
That was
No,
a weird transfer.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst part is that you sign him for.
But
2
Mustafi
million,
got
which is-
relegated right now, wherever he is.
Right. I'm saying
Where is
exactly.
he?
So
In
so
Turkey
Preston
somewhere.
is in the
Or in,
he's in Turkey, but
they
Preston
ran
are in the
you know what the fans
championship.
did, right? The fans hounded the players and they ran around them around the stadium. This is the
Oh,
actual
what do you
thing.
say?
First of all, give me your prediction for the Man United Liverpool. Give me your prediction for Newcastle Arsenal, and give me your top four prediction of the season. Who's going to finish in the top four?
I already said 1-1 for the game this weekend.
Yeah.
Newcastle, Arsenal, I don't care. Completely irrelevant game. And top four, I think it's going to stay the way that it is right now. So, City, United, Leicester, and Chelsea.
Sidhu?
I'm going to go with the 2-1 to Liverpool just because of some optimism. I need to show it because there's nothing left for us to play for. So I'm assuming this should be our top performance game, hopefully. Secondly, Newcastle, Arsenal. I don't give a shit, and I don't even have players playing in the fantasy.
They're just being mean because I'm there and it's Arsenal.
Yeah. But top four. I'm going to stick with the same top three. What I told you was City, United, Leicester. Fourth, my heart says Liverpool, of course, but it's going to be Chelsea. It's a 9. The odds are towards Chelsea. 90%. It's going to be Chelsea because even if anything happens, the easiest fixtures are for Chelsea and West Ham, right?
No. The easiest fixtures are not for Chelsea.
West Ham have the easier fixtures, but they've never been in this spot for fighting for the fourth spot ever. So it'll be tricky. But yeah, I think Chelsea would probably just top it to get the fourth spot.
I agree with that.
All right, I think I'm going to go for a Liverpool win over the weekend, a 2-1 to Liverpool, because I just feel that they'll be much more motivated in this game. I think Arsenal will beat Newcastle away, maybe another 2-1 or a 2-0, because that's what we do. We put in our best performance when it's irrelevant. And I think that and the top four is Man City, Man United, Leicester, and I think Liverpool.
Hoping
Because
for a great game on Sunday, and may the best team win. And pretty much.
Good chat, boys. Let's hope for the best results for the league. I think over the weekend, and let's connect.
Yeah, let's.